Hello, everyone. I am cryptorenzi, and this is your channel for Apex Bitcoin and crypto news. And in this video, I am going to unpack a lot of important, relevant information that you need to hear to figure out, are you prepared? This is going to be a great video. You're going to want to watch the whole thing until the end. I'm going to even go over stuff that has not been taught in school, stuff that should have been taught from day one, and that's how to manage your money properly. But there's a lot I want to go over and unpack. I want to talk about current events in this world, the war, how that affects your money, your portfolios for stock as well as crypto, and are you ultimately ready for anything that may come your way? That and much, much more. Go ahead and grab your favorite beverage, turn up the volume, get in your most comfy chair, and let's do this. So, as all of you know, there's a horrible war going on right now in the world between Hamas and Israel. And it's just so many innocent lives are being killed. It's just a horrible, horrible thing to see. It's just so tragic because unfortunately the world we live in, war is part of it. It's a sad truth that we go through. Depending on how old you are or young you are, this may be the first war you've had to experience from afar, or God forbid you're personally in it. Or maybe you're older and have lived through or seen other stuff as well. It's devastating, it's gut wrenching, and it's something that affects everyone in a different way. What I want to do is go over with you how this impacts your finances, your money, what moves you may want to make, and how ultimately, for lack of a better phrase, you never want to get caught with your pants down, right? If the tide goes out, right? There's that saying. So it's imperative. I want to work hard in this video to make you think differently, think out the box, challenge yourself. I promise you, stay till the end. I'm going to share with you things that I doubt very few of you are doing all of it. If you pull out a pencil and check all the boxes, be honest with yourself how many of these boxes you could honestly check off. To go further, I'm the furthest thing you're ever going to find from a conspiracy theorist. But I really want to make you think here, and I want to kind of paint an interesting picture for you. Those of you who watch this channel know this is also a wealth creation channel. So my goal and my mission is to help you no matter where you're coming from, no matter what part of the world you live in, no matter how much is in your bank account, no matter if you work one job, two jobs, or even three jobs. It doesn't matter. If you have the right mindset and, more importantly, the right plan, right? What's your plan? Ultimately, you can reach whatever goal you set out. I don't know if any of you have ever read The Art of War, one of my favorite books. But in The Art of War, it talks about every battle is won before it's fought. And that's not a cliche reference to the war in Israel right now. I'm talking about you personally, because you need to be ready for anything this world throws at you. Okay. And again, I'm speaking to everyone. I know I'm going to get pretty deep in this video, and some of you might think, okay, who even has that kind of money to do that stuff? But that's the point. You need to do what I'm saying. Again, not financial advice, but this is the stuff I do, and I know it works. And I'm trying to teach it and share it with you because I know some of you are listening and some of you are trying to better your lives and your family's lives. And I want to do the best I can to help those who are truly listening and want to better yourself. In times of war, everyone gets nervous. It's just an obvious, immediate, gut-wrenching action. People feel nervous. People feel scared. And ultimately, a lot of people will sell off assets because they're nervous, liquidate stocks, sell gold if you have it, liquidate crypto, whatever. That's just a normal gut reaction from a lot of people. And remember, I'm trying to speak to the masses. I know a lot of you have diamond hands, and kudos to you. But you have to remember, everyone's on a different timeline and timetable, and everyone has different risk asset tolerances. Super important to know. If you ever meet with a financial advisor, that's the first thing you're going to go over, right? What is your risk tolerances? They're going to ask you numerous questions. You're going to check the boxes of what you can and cannot handle and deal with. But not everyone has that luxury or not everyone even wants to go that route or fully believes and has faith in these people that they're doing right by their money, because ultimately, right, there's incentive to be paid. They're obviously working for a profit in. You come here on YouTube looking for the best advice you can get, because ultimately you know it's free, and sometimes that's bad, but sometimes that's good. Always look for diamonds in the rough, right? And that's my pledge to you, to do the best I can to give you the best, most accurate, most powerful knowledge that can hopefully change and revolutionize your family and yourself ultimately. Now, most people, as I was stating earlier, are selling right now. And the whole crypto market has honestly turned into full capitulation. It's not sexy. A lot of people are exiting. A lot of people are selling off. And in my humble opinion, this is a really, really bad idea. Again, not financial advice. If you need the money, if you irresponsibly got into crypto with money you couldn't afford to lose, then yes, you do you sell what you need to protect your family. Because remember, what's the most important thing? You need to pay your bills. You need to be able to pay your house first, right? You need to have shelter to live. For those of you that are in this for the long haul, for those of you that don't need money next year or in the next few months to absolutely survive and live on, for those of you trying to build a bigger future, you have to understand we live in a crazy world now. Okay, I don't want to get political here, but you have to hear what I'm saying. This is the first time in the world where we have Russia, China, and North Korea all have nuclear weapons. None of them get along. They don't care about people or killing or anything like that in their own regard. And arguably, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, the United States is the weakest it's ever been right now. And if you think I'm being political, I'm wrong. Paul Tudor Jones, billionaire investor, said something very similar to this a few days ago on CNBC. And I truly share his same sentiment, because this is alarming what's going on. You have to consider, look what's going on in the war as well. What if Iran gets involved in the Israel war? Then the United States is going to have to step in. Then we have to start looking at oil and oil futures and all that mess on how it's going to tie in, because we're so stuck on having to get oil from overseas instead of producing it here. And again, you have to understand how this is going to affect the markets and your money and everything you've been working for your whole entire life. Now, I'm not here to cause panic and fear. I'm not trying to tell you that World War III is coming. But if you remember, I've always told you early in my videos that we can only control what we can control, right? We don't know how that war is going to shake out. I mean, look what's going on in Ukraine. That was supposed to be a few months. We're 4 months away for 2 years now. You see, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You can't control this stuff. Look at COVID. Did any of you know COVID was coming? Did you ever thought you'd be forced to get an injection? Did you ever thought you'd be forced to show a card to go eat at a restaurant? So this is real what I'm saying. This is real. You really need to lean in and hear me here. So if you care about your money and you care about your finances, you need to put aside whatever political agenda you have, and you need to really listen, because you do not know the future, and neither do I. But my plan, I have a plan that's going to protect me and my family. And I want to make sure you have a plan. I want to make sure you're at least thinking about this plan just in case. And I'm going to go over some examples and really drive this point home really hard for you. But there's things you want to make sure you have, right? So if you're in the stock market right now, hopefully you have had your positions diversified decently. Now, I'm not big into let's just fully diversify all the way around. Because like Warren Buffett said, diversification is for people that don't know what they're doing. Amen. That is such a true statement. Okay, but I'd have to make hundreds of videos about how to invest properly in that regard. So let's try to keep this somewhat basic. But you need to be in certain sectors if you're looking to profit right now. And ultimately, you would have had to been in them before, like Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, these type of defense companies, Raytheon. These defense companies obviously always do well during war times. So if you have money that you desperately need to protect, it's definitely a good idea to move some assets over to that sector. Hopefully you have a small portion of that portfolio that you just hold neutral for protection anyway. obviously Bitcoin is super important. Now, let me talk about Bitcoin in a different way that you've never heard me talk about on the channel. And I can't think I've ever heard anybody really talk about Bitcoin this way. This is where, again, please, no conspiracy theory, but the smartest people in the world, the truly geniuses, they think of everything that potentially could happen to themselves and their families. Anything, absolutely. The smartest people in the world never can take a curveball and not know how to hit it out the park. So like I was stating, you don't know what's coming your way. You don't know if there's another COVID. You don't know if there's World War III. You don't know how long the Israel war is going to last. You don't know how long the Ukraine war is going to last. And even worst case scenario, dare I even say it, you don't know what's coming next that could be even worse than anything I just said. That's a scary fact, right? So we need to stay diligent in our actions. We need to stay super sharp in our thoughts. Now, Bitcoin, remember, is the most easily transferable asset. It's not going to be confiscated at the airport if, God forbid, you need to move. What if something happens and another COVID comes and you're just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm moving to Switzerland or whatever. Let's just say hypothetically. That's your right. That's your prerogative. What if you have most of your money in gold? Are you going to be able to bring all your gold to Switzerland? No, you're going to get confiscated everything at the airport. What if you have all your money in fiat, in cash? And we're going to come back on the cash thing. So I don't want to knock it too much, but let's just stick to this point for a second. Anything more than, I think, $10,000, they're going to confiscate at the airport. So you're not heading to Switzerland with your cash. And on top of that, do you have a secondary passport? Now, I know this is a luxury for most people, but you can pay to get another passport to another country, especially if you have any kind of history of origin. A lot of people go back on their grandparents, and sometimes you could even do your great-grandparents, and you can get a passport to another country. This is just something good to have, something wise that smart people think about just in case, right? Remember, I'm trying to teach you stuff you're definitely not going to learn in school. And you're probably not going to hear too many people talk about these things. I pledge to you to make sure you always get tons of value when you come to my channel and you watch these videos. And there's a lot going on in the world right now, and there's a lot we need to discuss to make sure you are properly educated. So again, we go over possibly if you're in a situation where you have to leave the country, you need to have secondary passports, right? You need to have cash on hand. You do. You do need to save some money, some fiat. And this is a delicate area. Let me think how to phrase this, because I know a lot of times you hear me speak, fiat's dying, fiat's dead. And unfortunately it is, but it's still going to always be there. The dollar and the euro is the most widely exchanged currency anywhere in the world. So these are things you want to have with you. Now, I'm not saying to put all your money in, obviously fiat, because yes, inflation is eating away at it like some type of cancer. It's a horrible thing, but you have to have it, right? Any emergencies, you need to have cash on hand. How else are you going to buy when the markets are down? You need to have ammunition. You need to have fuel to be able to force your investments in the right direction. And we're going to get to the money. I'm going to go over with how I personally handle my money, how I look at money, and what's helped me get to where I am. And this is something I want to share with you. But before we get into that, that's going to be coming later. Money's looked at different ways, right? But let me tell you something. For those of you that may lack confidence, for those of you that may wonder, oh, I wish I had more confidence to talk to someone, right? A girl or a guy or whomever, or I wish I could go to a business meeting and just have more confidence, right? You know how you get that the easiest way? Have a bunch of cash. Have a large cash position. See how that changes your attitude. See how that changes your life and your demeanor when you enter a room, when you speak to someone. And it's not an arrogant thing. It's a confidence thing, because you have the ability, you have the proper tools, because remember, money's a tool to do what you need to do. If your loved ones gets ill, you have money to take care of that. If you need to leave the country for whatever reason, you have money to take care of that. If you need to buy Bitcoin because it dropped far too low, or stocks or whatever you're into, you can do that. But if you live paycheck to paycheck and you've never saved any money in your life because you never had the right plan in place, that's a problem. And please understand, I'm not judging you. I was not always this way. I got very wise along the way with money. But we all have to start somewhere. And before I get into how I personally handle my money, I want you to understand saving is something that is vital. In the past, I was never really a big saver. This is something I had to learn, something I had to work on. And once I did, it changed my life. It revolutionized my life. Like I told you, I've been in the stock market for many, many years, crypto as well. But heck, I was trading derivative stocks in college. And I mean trading it heavily. I was never into that saving mindset. It was just not something that was always, instilled in me. And I've learned in life how important saving is. And I get this all the time from people because I've done a lot of research and studying on this. And these are excuses I've heard, and I remember I used to make them. Oh, I'll save money, when I have money or whatever. You hear all these different excuses, right? But the people that are truly brilliant understand saving is the key. That's the basis of which every great portfolio and wealth generation of any type of family has been built upon. Those are the key principles. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying save every penny, never invest it, never spend it, anything like that. No. And I actually know people like that. That's just as bad in a different way. I'm saying you need to change the way you think about money. If you live paycheck to paycheck, for those of you struggling for money right now, please listen, lean in, hear what I'm saying right here. You need to challenge yourself, because if you can't save money right now, you're never going to save it later. You're not. Saving is a mindset. It's like what they say. It's like similar to working out, right? You have to put in the time. You have to grind. You have to do it when you don't want to do it, right? You're not feeling well. You're sick. You just don't want to do it, but you still got to get the workout in. You still got to get the gym effort in. That's how you make the difference. That's how you get the gains. The same principle applies to savings. If you live paycheck to paycheck, then you need to find a way to save $1 a month. Just put $1 aside. I challenge you, do this. Instill those habits. And if the first thing that came to your mind just now is that $1 is not going to do anything for me, then God help you. You really need to reconsider what you just thought about. Because that $1 is going to continue to grow. And then you're going to start to realize it's a feeling you get inside. Like I told you, even $1, if you're doing it the right way, you start to build a tiny bit of confidence inside of you. It's like the story in the Bible, right? With the mustard seed. I mean, you'd be amazed how different you walk in life, how different you feel when you enter a building if you have money, if you have cash behind you. And yeah, we can dive deeper into, you don't want to just be all cash, right? But I'm not speaking to many people that just has all this cash just sitting, right? And if I am, kudos to you. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I know most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most people are nervous and scared. You turn on the news, it's just all this horrible stuff. And I want to make sure you have a place to come to where you can hear truthful, positive news that's going to enable you to do what's right in your life and with your family. And I don't want you to miss the forest for the trees here. Because I kind of find this interesting, right? Okay, again, no conspiracy theory. Just think about this for a second. We know the Bitcoin halving is coming next year. We all know that the price is going to increase. It always has, dating all the way back to the inception of Bitcoin. Every 4 years, there's the halving cycle, followed by quite a rally. Always has a parabolic push every time. Now, it almost sounds too easy, right? So you just buy now, you know that's coming, and there's all this huge profit. But what's happening? There's war in the world. There's weakness in America. Things are crazy expensive at the store, right? At the gas pump. Your money doesn't go very far, does it? There's all these distractions to take you away from the prize. And that prize is Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin is going to be there for you if you need to leave the country. Bitcoin is going to be there for you when it's time to divide it, transfer it. It's immutable, has tiny, tiny, tiny nullified inflation. I mean, what more could you ask for? And you're preparing yourself for anything life throws your way. So I'm not going to get into the division of how much Bitcoin you should own. If you guys want to hear those types of things and how those portfolios are set up, definitely comment below. Let me know. But you need to understand right now, as I stated earlier, it's full capitulation in the market. Tons of fear, tons of worried and nervous people. And they should be. But you have to stay diligent during these times because you don't know. We might even have worse news next month. You don't know. But the truly smart people are always prepared. I ask you again, what is your plan? You have to have a plan. You have to start saving. So the saving is going to plant the seed in your brain on how to live and think about money properly. And then once you can start to save up some money, then you can dollar cost average into Bitcoin, into the stocks you need, into dividend paying stocks as well, because that is something that can pay you passive income if you have to move one day. Because if you move to another country, a lot of times they don't want you to work. It's kind of a weird thing. I knew a few people that did this, and they kind of want you to bring your own money. That's why if you obviously have a nice dividend portfolio that's paying a lot of dividends, you can live on that passively. And I know before you guys say anything, yes, it usually takes millions of dollars to have that type of dividend portfolio. But remember, you have to start somewhere, and everybody's different. And my goal is to show you the full picture, and then you decide what's best for you. See, here's the thing. There's no right or wrong answer here. But I know this plan works. This is what I've done. This is what I know people that are insanely wealthy do. This stuff works. You have multiple assets. There's a saying I used to say years ago. If you want to truly build wealth, think of a swimming pool. So envision a swimming pool in your backyard, in the ground swimming pool, but there's no water in it. And let's make it deep. Let's say it's 10 feet deep, but there's no water in it. So it's just all bored out concrete. Whatever investment vehicles you have, think of it like a tiny little hose pipe that's running across your back lawn and hanging over into the pool. And it just has a tiny little slow drip. So just a tiny little bit of water's coming out. My question I always would ask people is, how many hose pipes do you have going to your pool? How many different ways are you making money? You have cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, multiple stock accounts, right? You have the aggressive stock account, your regular stock account, your dividend stock account. You have multiple businesses, different streams of income. I mean, I can go on and on and on, right? And to each his own. Everybody has different stuff. Or maybe you just may have one, right? Just your paycheck. I'm trying to get you to think differently. Anybody can do this. You don't have to have a fancy degree. Okay? You really don't. People say it's who you know. Yeah, it's who you know if you want to work in a certain building. It's not who you know if you want to take care of your family. It's not who you know if you want to be a good parent and teach your children right. That's not who you know. That's what you know. Just remember, anybody can do this. If you live in paycheck to paycheck, your paycheck is one hose pipe. You start saving that $1 a month, which turns into $2 and $4 and $8, and you keep adding to it. And then you take a small piece of that, and then you start buying crypto. There's another hose pipe. And when I say crypto, I should back that up. I mean Bitcoin. Okay? Don't try no get rich quick stuff. Okay? This is serious times. You need to think about this stuff seriously. Okay? You can also take a little bit of money and put it in some stocks. Okay? Now you have 3 hose pipes going to the pool. And you need to get out of this thinking like, oh, Renzi, what's $5 going to do to me? What's $10 going to do to me? Plenty. Because it's a start. It's the first time in your life you're doing the right thing. And that continues to add and grow. Think of a pebble rolling down a mountain. By the time it gets to the bottom of the mountain, how large is it? Tweak your thinking. What plan do you have? Continue to ask yourself that question. And now, let's go ahead and jump into how I handle money and how you should, in my opinion, look at handling money, and something they gravely need to teach in school, but they never ever did or have, or unfortunately, I think will. When I think of money, or when I look at money, or when I make money and money comes in for me, I divide that money into 4 different baskets. Okay. The first basket is my savers basket. The second basket is my investor basket. The third basket is my get rich basket. And the fourth basket is my lifestyle basket. Before I dissect these baskets, your mileage may vary. Okay. You can mix and match and alter these numbers however you see fit. This is just a rough example of things that I do. I can dissect this down multiple levels, okay? But I don't want to make it too complicated because, like, I have multiple stock accounts, okay? And like I said, inside of one basket. I've been doing this for many, many years. I want to make sure you just start on your own with your proper procedure with baskets, okay? Let's start with the savers basket. You should add 5 to 10% to this basket, and you should do this once a month. Next, your investor basket. Now, this should be a much larger portion. This should be 65 to 75% of your money going in here. Now, this is your safety. This is your foundation. Now, some people differ with me here when it comes to where Bitcoin goes, but I personally have Bitcoin in this basket, but you can put it in a different basket. But my Bitcoin goes in this basket, as well as real estate, equities, which is a fancy word for stocks in case you don't know. And again, with stocks, that's all broad spectrum. That's your dividend portfolio, your aggressive portfolio, your managing portfolio, just all the different portfolios you may or may not have. If you own bonds, if you own T-bills, any other types of investments, if you own gold, precious metals, all of that goes in this basket, okay? 65 to 75%. Your third one is your get rich basket. Now, this is the one, this is like your fun money, okay? Now, this one, again, you can move the numbers whatever you want. For me, I put, let's just say 10 to 15% in this basket. Now, this is where my crypto goes. Remember, Bitcoin is separate from crypto, okay? They're separate. They're not the same, at least in my opinion, and most people that truly understand Bitcoin would agree. I believe Bitcoin's the end-all, be-all. That goes in my investment basket. But crypto, that's going to be all your altcoins. Those are risky. I understand Ethereum's kind of, it's kind of on the line. And yes, I do own Ethereum, but it's not Bitcoin. It's never going to be Bitcoin. And Ethereum doesn't give me the comfort that Bitcoin does. It doesn't mean, again, I don't own it. It doesn't mean you can't make good money with it, because I believe you can. My plan of attack is to always make sure I'm one step ahead. So Ethereum and all altcoins go in the get rich basket. And then finally, the lifestyle basket is anywhere from 5 to 15%. And what's nice about this setup, you ever wondered in life if you can afford something? Like, wow, can I buy that new car? Can we buy that new beach home or rental property? Can we go on a trip to Fiji? You don't have to ask yourself these questions. Like, there's no more calculation. You figure out, is it in these baskets? Do you have enough money in these baskets to support that? There's your answer. And you'll never get in trouble if you stay on this metric. You'll be amazed how things continue to help and fill each one up. So for example, your get rich basket, as it does well, that money pours into your investor basket. Let's say you have some altcoins that pop. In the next bull cycle, you make good money with it. You sell it, take your profit, make sure you pay your taxes on that, then transfer that money into your investment basket, and that could go into more Bitcoin or equities or real estate or whatever is, whatever situation you're in your portfolio. And very important, you need to always rebalance all your portfolios. So you need to do this periodically. Make sure everything stays properly balanced. And very important note, in your investor basket, you're going to want to put money into that twice a month. So bi-monthly. And most of you that are working for a company that might have a 401k or something, that usually happens automatically anyway. But those of you that don't, this is such a good rule of thumb to stick to. So in case you're confused, whatever money you bring home, you figure out what that is fully. and then you divide it into these baskets. And ideally, your lifestyle basket is your lifestyle basket. So that should be, again, if you ever wonder if you have too much home or you're living out of your means, your lifestyle basket should be able to afford your home, all your utility bills, all your food, children's expenses, schools, etc. Now, I know I just lost a bunch of you, but that's ideally where you want to be. Okay. And even if you far from that, you can start today moving towards that. Because remember, time's not going to wait for anyone. More bad stuff could be happening. More pain could be coming, unfortunately. You need to protect what you have. Protect your money, protect your crypto, protect your assets, protect your family, protect your children, protect your future. Having the right plan, having the right mindset will do this for you. I truly hoped you learned a lot from this video. Please give me a thumbs up so this video can get out to more people. Please subscribe to my channel. We just got over 200 subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. I truly do. I'm looking forward to growing this channel so we can reach more people and help as many people as we possibly can. But just hear it from me. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. Thank you for staying till the end. I truly hope from the bottom of my heart you gained a ton of value from this video. Please use it. Apply it to your life. Comment down below on how you are preparing for downturns or for bad things in life. How you treat your portfolio during these times. And just remember, tomorrow's not promised to anyone. Live every day to the fullest. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. And please, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash that like for me, and I'll see you next time.